everyone, Medea and Safi here, welcoming you to another video here on my YouTube channel, where I teach you all about English language. And you, my friend, you have the best seat in the house for an up-close and personal experience. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. Today, we are going back to basics. We are looking at the building basics of English speaking, and I'm going to talk to you about the 8 parts of speech. In English, it always seems like every single word you say has a role within a sentence. Every single word is a part of speech and an important part of your speech. It helps you to make sense when talking to someone else and vice versa. I'm going to break them down and examine them individually. They make up everything in English, so we might as well get it right from the very beginning. Let's talk about the first part of speech, and that is nouns. These are the absolute basics of all speech forms, which help us understand the references, the meanings, and so on and so forth. Noun is something that names something, such as a person, an idea, or a thing. So in a sentence, a noun can play many different roles. It can help the role of subjects, direct objects, indirect objects, subject complements, object complements, adjectives, and so on and so forth. There are many different types of nouns. They can name people, such as a man or a woman, David, Jennifer, your friend, my sister. They can name a place, a sea or body of water, name of a country, such as Canada, a place in your house, for example, bathroom or washroom, or any room in your house. They can also name things, activities, ideas, and in general, concepts, such as love, hockey, plants, knowledge. Let's move on to the second part of speech, that is pronouns. A pronoun is a word that is used in place of a noun or a noun phrase. You use it when you have already mentioned a name, something, and the reader or listener already knows the specific noun you're referring to. To prevent the repetition of that noun you just referred to, you can use a pronoun instead. For example, if I wrote a story and the heroine in the story is called Arya, for example, instead of repeating Arya over and over again, I can sometimes use she instead of Arya. Let's see how it sounds if I just use the same name over and over again. In this case, Arya. Arya is a girl. Arya loves to paint. Arya is my friend. Arya is friendly, and Arya told me that Arya wanted to show me Arya's paintings. How did it sound? Repetitive, right? I'm very repetitive in this example. Let's try it with a beautiful pronoun instead. Arya is a girl. She loves to paint. She is my friend. She is friendly, and she told me that she wanted to show me her paintings. That sounds better. And it sounds less boring, to be honest with you. Now, there are quite a few different types of pronouns, and some pronouns are found in more than one category. Here, I will present you with some of the most common ones. We have a personal pronoun, I, you, she, he, we, you, plural, and they. And here are the objective pronouns. Me, you, her, him, us, you, plural, them. And as you can see, I repeat you twice because the first you refers to singular, meaning you as one person. And the second you means plural, means you as two people or more people. We also have a demonstrative pronouns. That, this, these, those. We also have indefinite pronouns. And these are used when the personal thing doesn't need to be specifically identified. Meaning, you don't need to say what that thing exactly is or what those things exactly are, or who those people are. Examples are one, no one, everybody, anybody, nobody, somebody. For example, nobody wants to get sick. Or some love chocolate and others don't like it. I try not to use hate because I feel it's very deep. Plus, deep inside, I don't think anybody hates chocolate. Other types include interrogate pronouns. These are also called WH words, but we are using them as pronouns here. Like who, what, where, which, whose, and so on and so forth. Possessive pronouns such as my, your, their. As the name suggests, you are using these to refer to something or something that somebody else owns. Reflexive and intensive pronouns like myself, yourself, herself, himself, and themselves. And relative pronouns like whom, what, which. Now let's move on to part of speech number 3. Adjectives. These are all the words that describe nouns. Adjectives can go right before a noun that they're describing. For example, My blonde hair. In this example, blonde is describing hair, so that's the adjective. But adjective doesn't have to always go before a noun. Example, my hair is blonde now. One of the most important things that you can learn when it comes to adjectives is adjective order. And it's so exciting. I feel so excited to talk about this. It's important because you know a lot of adjectives that can go before or after a noun. But if two or more of them come before or after the noun, that's when you might trip. That's why I felt maybe we can cover adjective orders so you can also use them correctly and in the right order. And this is also the key to fluency. A friend of mine whose first language is English once told me that they did not know it exists. Well, I understand that because native people use it unconsciously, and she was actually blown away. Because everyone followed the same order without even thinking about it. Okay, here is the order. Number 1, opinion. Unusual, lovely, beautiful. Number 2, size. Big, small, tall. Number 3, physical quality. Thin, untidy. Number 4, shape. Round, square, rectangular. Number 5, age. New, old, youthful. Number 6, color. Gold, red, pink. Number 7, origin. Canadian, Persian. Number 8, material. Leather, metal. Number 9, type. Four-sided, unisex. Number 10, purpose. Washing, hammering, or what it's made of. Example. A strange silver metallic material. It's a long, narrow plastic brush. Here are some examples of longer adjective phrases. A noun phrase which includes all these types would be extremely rare though. She was a beautiful, tall, young, black-haired, Scottish woman. What an awesome little old British bag. So there you go now, you have it. Using what you just learned, you can write 3 sentences using the correct adjective order describing 3 people or 3 things that you know or know of right now. You can rewrite it in the comment section below for me. All right, part of speech number 4. Verbs. Show me your notebook. Please write in the comment section. Smile. Everything that is underlined here is a verb. We use them in sentences, and in my opinion, this is the most important part of a sentence or predicate as we talked about them before. Verbs are words that describe actions in a sentence. It's a heavy part of a sentence that carries a lot of meaning. If a verb does not exist in a sentence, to me, that sentence doesn't even make sense. Now let's get into types of verbs. We have dynamic or action verbs. These describe actions or things we do. For example, drinking, sleeping, walking, singing. We also have state verbs. They refer to feelings or states. Examples are think, feel. We have auxiliary verbs. We use them to change another verb's voice, tense, or mood. These are also known as helping verbs. These come to help the verb or change the verb's voice, tense, etc. The main auxiliary or helping verbs are be, have, do. We also have modal auxiliary verbs. We also know them as modal verbs. Modals are usually added to another verb to show possibility, necessity, and the like. Some of the modal verbs are should, can, could, might, may, must, have to, would, will, ought, or ought to, which we pronounce it like oughta. These are verbs that sometimes don't have an actual meaning on their own, but they can have an important role in a sentence. And the verb that comes after them is usually in base form. And the last one is phrasal verbs. There's many phrasal verbs out there, and they're mostly used by North American English speakers. I mean, all the English speakers use these, but North American people specifically love to use the phrasal verbs. These are phrases that can act as one verb, and they're usually made up of a verb and a preposition. Take a look at some of these examples. I asked him to get up. They burnt up the whole house. Let's talk about adverbs. Number 5, adverbs. They are words that describe an adjective, a verb, another verb in a sentence. The line slowly moved. He runs fast. So the adverb here is describing the adjective. The adverb is describing the whole sentence. If I say, luckily, we moved on. Let's move on to prepositions. These are a little tricky just because you have to remember where each one comes and what each one means. Prepositions are words that tell you when or where something is in relation to something else. It tells you the relationship between two words or more words in a sentence. I have my hands on the table. She is sitting under a tree. Schools open in December. Now please remember, sometimes you end a sentence with a preposition. For example, I can't remember what day her birthday is on. Now usually you don't use prepositions at the end of a sentence. But if you have to, then it's fine. It's a natural way of using it. It's just to put it in the middle or at the end of a sentence. Yes, there are many locations where to end a sentence, whether with a preposition, but it's not wrong. And sometimes specifically becomes formal. But in speech, it's absolutely natural to use the prepositions at the end of a sentence or to finish a sentence with a preposition. Part of speech number 7, conjunctions. Conjunctions are words that are used to connect clauses, sentences, or words together. Firstly, let's take a look at the coordinating conjunctions. They allow us to join word phrases or clauses. The most common coordinating conjunctions are nor, for, but, so, yet. Here is an example. Take a look at these two sentences. I didn't know how to swim. I still went into water. We can join them together with a coordinating clause. I didn't know how to swim, but I still went into water. The next one is correlated conjunctions. These are pairs of words together, either or neither nor. I get either the milkshake or the ice cream. They are also subordinating conjunctions, which join a dependent and an independent clause together. I most probably have to make a whole video about independent and dependent clauses, but for the sake of this video, let's keep it short and sweet. And I'm still going to briefly give it to you. because, since, although, though, while, as, whereas. I had lunch because I was hungry. I always make breakfast while listening to music. The next part of speech, that is number 8, is the articles. We have the definite article, we use it when we want to refer to one thing only. For example, bring me the cake. I'm talking about a specific cake that we both know about. The indefinite articles. An and a. We use these when we are referring to one thing that is new to us and it's unknown to us as well. We don't share a knowledge about that specific object or thing. It is what it is. You use a and it precedes a word that starts with a consonant. And there's an. And it usually precedes a word that starts with a vowel. A, I, U, E, O. And definite article indicates that a noun refers to a general thing or a general idea rather than a specific thing or idea or object. Can I get a book? I have an idea. Notice that it refers to an idea and you use an because it starts with a vowel. The word starts with a vowel. I'm not referring to a specific idea, and you know I'm just referring to an idea that probably just occurred to me. Right, that is it for my lesson. This was about 8 parts of speech in English grammar. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something today. Now it's time for you to make some sentences using one of these parts of speech. You can write your idea in the comment box below. I would suggest use the adjective ones that I told you about in the middle of this video. If you want to make a sentence, you can go ahead and make some sentences with definite articles or indefinite articles. Just practice, and I will be looking at the comment section. Please remember, if I want to talk about different parts of speech, and if I want to use it in a plural form, I can never say part of speeches. The way to make it a plural form is parts of speech. So you can add S to the first part of the phrase part of speech. So here I showed you 8 parts of speech. I thought that would be a very small note that I wanted you guys to know about in case you wanted to tell someone about these 8 parts of speech. I am also thinking of creating more vlogs for you guys where you can see me sharing my personal life, and all of my vlogs will be fully subtitled. So you can use them for listening practice and to improve your vocabulary, or just simply for entertainment. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you comment, like, and share my video with somebody who you think might find it. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.